What's up, Beckham and Wando? My name is James the Flames, and you're watching East Cooper Student News. On today's show, we'll take a look at some exotic visitors who ended up in Wando to see how it helps students who are taking wildlife biology. Plus, find out how a student at Wando prepares for the upcoming Cooper River Bridge Run. Additionally, reporter Izzy Klein ventures out to find out how two young musicians set up for gigs and make a living here in the Lowcountry. All that and more right here, right now on ECSN. Thanks for watching ECSN. I'm James the Flames. In every corner of the world, students dream of experiencing life in a different culture, stepping out of their comfort zones and gaining a broader perspective. These students not only immerse themselves in our school life, but they also share their traditions, languages, and experiences with us, helping bridge the gap between cultures. And for some, that dream becomes a reality right here at our East Cooper schools. Wando has 6 foreign exchange students. The Secretary of State and the Secretary of Education says tens of thousands of students from more than 60 countries are foreign exchange students. And we have 2 in our very own community. ECSN reporter Reese O'Donnell introduces us to 2 kids from very different parts of the world.
Foreign exchange students Tony Peterkova and Yosuke Kobayashi are from the other side of the world, but they found themselves taking classes at our East Cooper CAS. Yosuke is taking media technology and Tony is taking photography. And it turns out our school system is very different from the ones they're from.
It's much bigger and the school system is different, so back in home I couldn't choose my classes and I was with the same 30 people all day, like every day. All day, like for 8 years.
But being an exchange student means more than just attending school every day. These 2 get to try new things that they might not be able to try at home.
I would like to learn more like Charleston history because I only have been Charleston like twice or 3 times.
I would love to try surfing, go to the North Carolina mountains.
And when they're not at school or out and about, Yosuke and Tony spend their time at home with their host families.
I have 2 host families. I lived with one first semester and then I changed in the end of the winter break, and I love both of them. The hardest part of my exchange was changing host families.
They are so nice to me, so I feel like I can be safe, and I'm sharing a bunch of experience with them, so I really appreciate them.
Only being here for a limited amount of time makes it hard to fit in every experience they want to. But both have high hopes for future trips to the U.S.
What I heard from the seniors, like how much work do they have to do and like money, I don't think I will come back for college.
I'm thinking about going to American college because since I came here, I felt like university sports, like college sports is so big, you know.
Thanks, Reese. Speaking of traveling closer to home, we went all the way to Hartsville to get a closer look at the only FRC robotics team in Charleston County. All team members, whether it's rookies or veterans, gain the same experience. Let's take a look at that, plus the robot.
This is the Flying Fish, the new robot from Phoenix FRC 4533, which is the robotics team club in Charleston County. Flying Fish's mission is to gain as many points as possible during the matches and gain ranking points to help their overall team standings. And it's built, programmed, and controlled entirely by students.
I lead mechanics, so basically build, design the robot.
I'm on build team, the subgroup of chassis, and basically to build the main carriage of the robot and do some basic wiring and stuff.
The team has veterans like Daru and rookies like Ella, and they all come together to build a robot that can compete against other teams in the state.
I think first year joining, I thought it was a lot, especially during competition season. But whenever I went to competitions, I realized that all this hard work pays off, and I've been loving it since.
I expect it to be like less difficult, but you learn a lot, and like everyone teaches you way more than you think. Like the kids will teach you what you need to know.
Flying fish is driven by one teammate, manipulated by another teammate, and coached by another teammate. It takes 3 people to make it work, but a whole team to get to this point, and the team keeps working to get better.
So we got better each year, and I think just being able to like figure out how to talk to other new members and just like forming new connections and teaching them. I think the most rewarding experience is always just seeing our robot work, especially after putting so much effort and time and thinking into it. Just seeing it work, move, get us scores, get us winnings and awards is always best and amazing.
Reporting for ECSN, I'm Addie Burnham with Maria Francesca Picone.
In the last event, which took place in North Charleston, our team made it all the way to the final matches, starting with losing the first match 132 to 20 points, 120, winning the second match 130 to 87, but ended up losing the tiebreaker match by 4 points, ending at 124 to 128. Additionally, they earned an Excellence in Engineering Award, and they're in 16th in the district, qualifying them for the district champions in Anderson from April 3rd to the 5th. Moving on, some foreign creatures have found their way into Wando. Multiple exhibits of reptiles and amphibians slithered into the rotunda, instigating some exciting interactions. ECSN reporter Sailor Picaro tells us more about how these animals help wildlife biology students with their studies.
Snapping turtles, snakes, lizards, oh my. If you happen to walk past the rotunda on March 7th, you might have mistaken it for the zoo. Wildlife biology teacher Miss Kershawn partnered with the Amphibian and Reptile Conservation to bring in some wild-caught animals in order to get her class out there, and it was a hit.
Everybody likes a good show and tell, right? And especially things that you don't usually get to see. So it just sparks an interest in people. And if they really like it, like they don't have to touch anything, but it's kind of cool to see these things up close and personal. Because you just don't. Usually it's roadkill, right? Which is unfortunate. That's usually how we get up close and personal to wildlife. But it's nice to have an opportunity to do it.
As half the population feels anxious about amphibians and reptiles, the other half will go out and seek animals and take them into their homes, like wildlife biology student Whitlock Turnage.
You really have to know before you pick it up. You shouldn't pick up something that you don't know if it's dangerous or not, because then you can get hurt. Most animals aren't gonna hurt you, especially like things that people are scared of, like snakes and spiders, unless you are intending to hurt it or not handling it well.
If you are scared of things like snakes, you might not want to go to Miss Kershawn's classroom. She has snakes in her class, but they're a little bit more than just class pets.
So I've got 2 snakes in my classroom, and I don't need any more pets in my life, but I have the snakes so that people can get comfortable, understand them. We use them for education, and the more people know about something, the more they will care about it, or at least understand it, and maybe dispel some of those myths that surround some of these animals that are misunderstood.
While this might not convince you that these reptiles are harmless, it might help you gain an appreciation for them, as well as the students and teachers who spend their time caring for these animals. Reporting for ECSN, I'm Sailor Picaro.
Thanks, Sailor. It's about that time of the year. The bridge run is coming up and people are getting prepared, including some of our very own. Reporter Taylor Genst has more.
Every year, on the first Saturday in April, the Ravenel Bridge transforms from a busy roadway to a lively runway as about 40,000 runners participate in the annual Cooper River Bridge Run. While you might expect most of the race participants to be trained runners, one student, Julia Vardakas, has a different training process. Julia is committed to tumble at Limestone University. She is splitting her time training for this year's bridge run and her future tumbling career. Julia was inspired by her best friend to take on the run last year, and now this year they've decided to make it an annual event. But the preparation process for a race like this one goes beyond their mile times.
But running is really mental, and as long as you go into it with the attitude that you're going to finish, that's all that matters, and it's not time or distance, it's a mental thing.
The Cooper River Bridge Run is a one-way 10-kilometer race stretching from Mount Pleasant over the Ravenel Bridge and into downtown Charleston. Planners of the Bridge Run make Julia's preparations easier to complete the 10K.
Well, the bridge run offers a plan that you can follow to make sure that you're slowly increasing your miles each time, and it's really nice because it starts off with just running for 20 minutes, which is something easy and not about how many miles you run. It's just running for 20 minutes, and then later on, once it gets closer, it will make it so that way you're running the amount of miles you should be running and not time. It's really nice to just once you finish, you should feel so good about yourself, and then they have apples and fruit and stuff at the end, and you just eat all the food.
The race is Saturday, April 5th and begins at 8 a.m. Reporting for ECSN, I'm Taylor Gunst.
Thanks, Taylor. The bridge run happens during high school track season, and during track meets, there are tons of events. But Lucy Beckham has a club for a sport you can find in the Olympics, but not on the track. Reporters Landon Harlan and Alex Benning show us how some Bengals are hitting the bullseye.
You're good?
This isn't the Junior Olympics. It's behind the band room at Lucy Beckham High School. While many schools have Key or Beta Club, students at Beckham now have an archery club.
Some skills that people in this club can develop to prepare for adulthood are definitely time management. I mean, having to go out and help set up and take down and just be there for practice and all the meetings. It's a real time commitment, but they've always been there and shown their constant support, and that's really helpful in the real world too.
While the students' goal is to hit as many bullseyes as possible, their club sponsor, Miss Sylvia, has a much bigger job, and that's ensuring the team's safety.
So the biggest thing is making sure that nobody is downrange while we're shooting. And so we do have a really, really loud whistle that we use. That's it goes inside basically their ears, right? And so we have different whistles, different commands, and they're not allowed to move from those different stations until they hear a specific whistle. And if any kind of emergency happens, we do 5 different whistles to kind of stop everything.
Isabella Scott is leading a group with a common interest. While most think it's just a fun hobby, Isabella and veteran team members like Eric Vera are constantly working on perfecting their skill.
The biggest challenges is probably just the aiming, because sometimes it can just be really complicated, because if you just have bad form, then you won't be able to get a good shot. And so it just kind of depends where you use your arms and how you look through your eye to the arrow they shot.
So the next time you hear a whistle at Beckham, it might not be from your average athletics coach. It might be coming from the archery practice. Reporting for ECSN, I'm Landon Harlan with Alex Benning.
Thanks, guys. On the Wando side of things, Wandothon is back. Wandothon occurred on March 22nd from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. in the Wando Gymnasium. This exciting day was filled with volleyball, ping pong, raising funds, and lots of fun. To participate, each student had to raise $62 through Donor Drive, a peer fundraising website. All they had to do was create a Donor Drive account and share the link with friends and family so that they could donate directly to their account. All funds raised supports the Children's Miracle Network and the Shawn Jenkins Children's Hospital.
I would say my favorite part is definitely seeing the impact that the money we raise has on kids and actually meeting them. It's really amazing to see how it can change the lives. Even the smallest donation goes towards a bigger fund.
It's so special when you get to hear the stories of these kids and these families and how Children's Miracle Network has changed their lives. It makes the fundraising that we're doing so much more meaningful.
On Instagram page to make a donation or to find out how to apply to join their board next year, if interested. On to a new segment where we venture out to dig into the interesting lives of students here in the East Cooper area. ECSN reporter Izzy Klein tells us more.
Hello everyone, I'm Izzy Klein and this is Adventures with ECSN. On today's episode, we take a look at how a girl who loves to sing shares her life as a starting out music artist with her brother along for the journey.
Hollenbell is a young adult who has loved music ever since she was little. Some say she sounds like Taylor Swift, while others say she will one day reach her goal of becoming a new music artist. Hollenbell has been a part of many different things, including being on Fox News, producing music in a studio, and many more. Music is something we can all agree on that helps us to get inspired, especially when you are the one writing music.
I write my own songs based on my own experiences. I feel like, you know, everyone's music is going to be different in a way because everyone has their own kind of signature.
Around 2020, 2021, I always saw Holland playing and gigging in town and wherever she was at, and I wanted to play alongside her, at least be able to play what she's playing, you know, play the guitar, acoustic guitar. So that's the first instrument I picked up, was the acoustic guitar.
Riley loves to venture out with new techniques or learning different instruments. A lot has to deal with his musical background.
And I just pick up whatever I see. We have a banjo around here somewhere that I pick up every now and then. I'm not great at it, but I could play a little something on that and a mandolin. But I guess I would say my main instruments are acoustic guitar, bass guitar, harmonica, and keyboard.
As you can see, Hollenbo and Riley are both very talented at what they work towards in this type of industry. Their next gig is every Friday night and every Sunday morning for brunch at the Mills House in downtown. If you are interested, go show your support and watch the duo. You never know how much you might enjoy it. Reporting for ECSN, I'm Izzy Klein.
Thanks, Izzy. You're looking into our control room as we end the show. For all the people behind the scenes, I'm James the Flames, signing off for ECSN. We'll see you next time.